All right. Welcome back to Voices of Vitality, where we spotlight individuals who help us live strong, live purposefully, and live their best life at every stage. At Vitality at Home, we believe that aging isn't about shrinking your world, it's about expanding it. And one of the most powerful ways to do that is through travel. Today, I am so excited to introduce Sara Bonzheim, travel advisor, adventure curator, and the heart behind Chasing Whimsy with Sara. Sara specializes in helping people turn their travel dreams into real, beautiful, organized experiences, from cruises to bucket list adventures to multi-generational family trips. Sara, welcome to Voices of Vitality. We're so happy that you're here.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. So let's just dive right in. I'd love for you to tell us a little bit about your journey, how you got into travel planning, and what inspired you to be a travel advisor.
Yeah, so back in 2017, I was a young mom. I had a 2-year-old and then I had 6-month-old twins. So, not busy at all. And, you know, daycare is really expensive. And so I thought, how could I make a little bit extra money? And I was already helping people plan their Disney trips. So I was like, let's just jump into that and see what happens. And, this July, that's going to be 9 years ago that I've been with Travelmation, which is, the best travel agency out there. So, yeah.
Oh my gosh. That's
Yeah.
awesome. So is Disney kind of like that's like your go-to? You love Disney?
We are like the biggest family of Disnerds. So, like,
Oh my God.
my son is like a Disney trivia aficionado. He loves it. He plays it at the pool when we're there. Any chance he has to play Disney trivia, he's all in for it.
Oh, I love that. That's so fun. How old is he?
He's 11. Yep. And then
Okay.
my twins are now 9. So, yeah.
Oh, that okay. So you're telling me there's still hope because my
Yep.
son is 10 and I'm like a little worried. We
Yeah.
went a couple years ago and had a riot, but we were afraid that we were gonna like
Yeah.
miss the window for a second trip.
Oh, no. Somebody just reached out
Okay.
to me. Like, my 12-year-old, I don't know. He'll think it's too baby. I'm like, "Ugh, have you heard of Guardians of the Galaxy, the best roller coaster in the whole world? He's going to love it.
Yeah.
He'll have so much fun.
Oh, that's awesome. So your brand Chasing Whimsy with Sara has such an awesome feeling. I absolutely love it. How did you come up with the name and what does it mean to you?
So, I am a big Bob Goff fan. If you know anything about him, he's an author. He writes some like Christian literature, but
Mhm.
he's like big into whimsy and just finding the magical in everyday interactions and things like that. So I just feel like there's like a lot of pressure when you're planning travel, especially when there's other people involved. And just find the magic in those experiences. And it can be glitzy and glammy and all that stuff in travel because, everybody's got Instagram now. But,
Yeah.
you know, just finding seashells on the beach,
Yeah.
finding those fun little moments with your family, if you're waiting in line for something, playing heads up, things like that. Those are the memories that really mean things and just helping people find those magical moments.
I love that because I can tell, my husband does most of the travel planning for us. And I feel like there's so much stress leading up to the trip that he is, finding flights and finding hotels and finding stuff to do that by the time he gets to the actual
Mhm.
destination, he just wants to lay around and do nothing because he's so exhausted from planning it.
Yes, yes. We call
So
that
you
planning in
take
our
that
house.
away from them.
Yes. Yes, I try my best, some people are just anxious, but just helping make sure all those details are planned for them so that they know, like, okay, this is step 1, this is step 2. I'm gonna make it through all these things and everything's gonna be fine and it's all taken care of. And I'm only a phone call away if they do run into any issues.
Oh, that's awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome. So, with so many people redefining retirement these days, they're choosing more of a retirement filled with adventure and fun as opposed to convalescing and slowing down, right? How do you feel like the travel industry has really responded to that shift in how individuals are looking to retire?
Yeah, I think that they're really expanding like what's available to people. So one example is like back roads. They do like some different like guided tours and stuff. So instead of and a lot of it's through bikes, right? Normal people would say, "Oh, wow, that sounds really strenuous." Well, now they have electronic bikes, like the
Yeah.
e-bikes, so that even if you're not able to balance on a regular bike, or push a regular bike, then you're going to be able to keep up. Other things that they've done is some of the cruise lines, some of the older folks, they're solo. They don't have a partner in life anymore, or, for whatever reason. And now they are offering solo cabins so that they can still be part of the adventure. They can
Yeah.
still go out on those cruise lines without having to share space with, their friends if they want some privacy. But,
Yeah.
they're just modifying the experience for them.
Oh, I love that. So, what types of trips do you find are most popular for those individuals in their 60s, 70s, 80s, or even older than that?
Yeah. So, I mean, I think cruise lines are really popular. You always see it in the headlines, like, an older couple books 20 back-to-back cruises instead of going into a nursing home, because it's all right there, right? They're going to have their food. Somebody's going to make up their bed for them every day. Everything is going to be taken care of. And it's just an easy vacation. So that's always an easy one. Oh, and plus the options are endless, right? Like,
Yeah.
they can go to the Caribbean, they can go to Alaska, they can go over to Europe, all these different options. So that's really a lot of what I see.
I love that. And in those older adults that you do help travel, what do you find that they are seeing as the biggest benefits to their personal aging journey?
I think that, and I mean, you look like you're about the same age as me. I have at least one vacation in recent years where I have gone and I've been so preoccupied with taking care of my kids and making sure everybody is, taken care of and everything. I think like the older folks who don't have the families that they're taking care of, or the whole group that's going with them. And they're usually like a little bit more financially stable. They can spend a little bit more and everything like that. They just have this opportunity to really enjoy what they're doing. And it's just, they get to be a kid again. It's almost like, they say that like you end up back to where you were in the life journey, but they get to explore, they get to learn, they get to just enjoy life again, just like when you were a kid.
Yeah, that is so great. I love that. Now, do you hear ever from individuals like questions or concerns that are commonly coming up with these adults that want to travel but just aren't sure like where to start or, if they can even do it? What are the most common concerns that you hear?
I think as people are aging, the biggest obstacle for them is like the mobility issues. And they're just worried that if they are going with a group, that they're going to be a damper on everybody else because, grandma and grandpa are slow, or, uncle and aunt are slow. And it's like, there's so many ways around that, and so many different ways that you can plan a vacation that, if they have to rent a mobility scooter, it's nothing to be embarrassed about. That's awesome. And sometimes you get better seating when you have somebody who has a wheelchair or a scooter. Like, don't let asking for that extra help hold you back in those experiences.
Yeah, I love that. So are you finding that a lot of the places that you help individuals book have access to a lot of these mobility
Yeah.
things, mobility aids?
Yes, yes. And like a huge example I have right now is that I'm helping for the second time a woman who has ALS. And she's not that old, but that is a later in life type of diagnosis.
Yes.
And I have been working with Royal Caribbean, huge props to Royal Caribbean, and they are just phenomenal. They're like, what, she needs an accessible room. Okay, that we're gonna make sure it happens. And the gentleman that I spoke to, he was like, her needs are going to change because this cruise is 9 months away. And so I'm going to have one of my specialists reach out every 2 months and make sure that she has exactly what she needs and her needs have not changed. So, as a travel advisor, having those connections to connect my client to the departments that are able to assist them it's huge.
That is so, so cool.
Yeah.
And that kind of made me think too, when you plan these trips, I mean, when they have healthcare needs while they're away, is that something that you're able to sort of curate as well? Like just an FYI, when you're at this place, there is this hospital and there's this med station, and you can get prescriptions here if you lose them or all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I could definitely connect them. I think the biggest thing, and especially as people are older and are more prone to have, either an accident or an illness, is travel insurance. Like, please make sure
Oh,
that they have that. I'm not licensed in travel insurance, but I like to make them aware of what that can do for them, because going overseas, usually your insurance is not going to follow you. So it's very important that you have some sort of coverage there so that you're going to be able to pay for that. You don't want to be stuck there with a huge medical bill that you can't pay and they're not letting you go. So
oh my gosh,
that's the biggest thing. And people
that is
think,
such good advice. I never ever would have thought about that
well,
because I know that anytime we plan a trip, we click the box no.
yeah, and that's the thing is everybody thinks, well, I mean, it was just a $3,000 vacation. Like, I don't need travel insurance because, insurance is there to prevent, you're going to have bad days, but insurance is there to prevent a bad life. And losing out on that $3,000 is a bummer, and that's a bad day. But if you have a $100,000 medical bill while you're overseas, that is life changing, and we definitely want to avoid that.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I love that. I absolutely love that. Okay, switching gears to something a little bit more positive.
Yeah, sorry.
How do you ever have people that come to you that are like, all right, Sarah, I want to go on vacation. I want to take my kids, my grandkids to a certain destination, but I have no idea where to even start or what to do. How do you find a destination that really fits the personality and the interests of what the whole family wants to experience?
Yeah, and that really showcases the value of a travel advisor, because all of these resorts and the cruise ships and all the options out there, they have their own personality. Like, you know, everybody knows what to expect on a Disney cruise. Like, we know what that brand is and everything like that. And then you have like Royal Caribbean, who's going to be kind of like that all for one thing. Like, you have something for the kids, you have something for the adults, you have everything, but it's going to be really high energy. If they want something a little bit more chill, like say like the teenagers are on the trip and there's not so many little kids, they might want something a little bit more luxurious, like Celebrity Cruise Line or something like that. So it's really important to ask a lot of really good questions. Like, how are they envisioning this trip to be? What is everybody's interest? And then also, like, some of those answers are kind of subjective. Like, people are like, well, a reasonable price. Okay, we're gonna have to dig a little bit deeper, because what's reasonable to me might not be reasonable to you. And then, like, good food. Well, what kind of food do you like? Do you like seafood? Do you not like seafood? Whatever they might have, and then dietary restrictions and things like that. So just asking all the right questions so that you can match them exactly with the brand that is going to click with them the most.
I love that. So have you done a multi-generational travel plan? And if so, like what is that? What was that trip and what makes it special? What makes it special to you?
Yeah. Well, the most recent one that I just did was great grandpa was bringing the whole family to Disney, and brought the great granddaughter there to celebrate her 5th birthday. So like there was a couple aunts and uncles there. Just like there was like 5 different rooms that all traveled together. And when you do those multi-gen trips, what's so important is that you literally have every stage of life in there. And we even had some special needs. So like, great grandma and grandpa, they need to have a mobility scooter. And they want to have something that's close and easy to access the parks. But then down to, that great granddaughter, she has little sister or little brothers that are twins, and they're babies. They were like 6 months old at the time that they
Oh,
traveled.
wow.
So, mom needs to have a fridge in her room because she's still pumping. And so,
Mhm.
all those little needs, I know what questions to ask to make sure that we have everything that we need for everybody in that trip, no matter what age they are.
Yeah. I love that. Wait, so how old were great grandma and great grandpa?
I don't know that they were, I think they were maybe the 80s. So,
Oh my
yeah.
gosh, I love that.
Yeah.
Oh, that is so cool. And then do you find a lot of times you're having difficulty like helping people navigate like the flights and stuff, or is that typically Like the airlines themselves know like how to move through that and how to help people and all that. So is that part of something that you do or more like relying on the airline?
Well, we can set up the things at the airport so that they will be there with a wheelchair if necessary to get them, from the ticketing counter through security all the way to their gate. And then, from there, I kind of usually take over whether they
Yeah.
need to have something set up at the hotel so that they can get around and all that stuff. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. All right. What are your favorite places to recommend for somebody who wants a relaxing vacation?
So relaxing, I mean, all inclusive to me is the ultimate relaxing because I'm not having to get off of a ship to go do things.
Yeah.
I don't have to worry about how much is dinner, how much is this drink, how much is it? It's already done, right?
Yeah.
Bonus points if it's a resort like Sandals or Beaches or something that like they're like no tipping. You can't even tip here because then I really don't have to think about it.
Mhm.
So that's my ultimate bonus points if it has an excellent spa and I get to go spend a day there with my girlfriends and everything like that. So yeah, that's definitely relaxing.
Oh, I love that. How about an adventurous trip?
So adventure, there are two things that come to mind. Again, all inclusive. That's kind of like my jam. That's my favorite. But Xcaret in Mexico is just like the ultimate adventure vacation because in itself, the resort is just like it's like they just built it into the Mexican terrain. Like it's just beautiful. It's like the jungle. They've got cenotes on property, but they also include admission to all of their adventure parks. So like Explore, Zelha, all those. And you get to like just go do all these different things, like zip lining through the jungle. You get to do like cenotes, go through like some underground like clay river type of things. Like it was really huge on YouTube like a couple years ago, probably like 2020.
Interesting.
And my kids watched lots of videos and I was like, oh, that's so cool. But that was like ultimate adventure. Other than that, probably like a guided tour type of thing, like a G Adventures would be for me, like because they just like really. I've had somebody go to like Costa Rica, like that would just be great to like have somebody take me through that country, like through the jungle. That would be awesome.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. I love that. So travel planning is like so overwhelming to me. I want nothing to do with it. So what part of the process do you feel like your clients appreciate most when they're working with you?
Yeah, so they're obviously the knowledge, being able to there when people are planning, there's so many options, there's so many reviews to sift through, and then don't even get me started on those Facebook groups. Like when they get into those Facebook groups and everybody has an opinion, there's just too much chatter. So one of my gifts is that I'm a very calming presence. And so I don't get rattled very easy. So like when they're very frazzled, I can de-escalate them very well. And then, just focusing on what's important. Like, oh, well, I know you like this one, but I'm going to tell you why that one wouldn't be a good fit. But this one that you had been looking at, like these features of that resort are really going to be just perfect for you guys. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. I love that. So, what is your favorite part about being a travel advisor? Is it like the planning or, if maybe you do surprises for clients, or is it like hearing back from them, right? Like, oh my gosh, we had the best trip. Like, what is your favorite part?
Yeah. So one of like my mission as a person, like my job as a travel advisor is to change the world through my job as a travel advisor. So, that sounds like a very big feat, but so for me, my corner of the world is good enough. But, you know, I get to help people make these lasting memories as a family. And being able to hear back on those is like so great, and just knowing that they had a great time, that they built these stronger connections with their people, whether it's them as a couple or them as their friends or them with their family. That's my favorite part.
Oh, I love that. I love that. So you definitely are very good at what you do, right? Because you've won accolades like the Travelmation President's Award, and you have expertise in cruises and all-inclusive vacations, as we've heard. So what does that type of recognition mean to you?
Well, so the President's Award is a huge honor. Award is handpicked by our president, Adam Duckworth himself. So he is just such a good role model as a person. He was a guy with a dream that has turned into this like just absolute travel machine. And he's just so inspiring. He is the epitome of, imagining something that can come true, and it did, and just resilience. So it's just a huge honor to have received that reward and, continue to try to be that for him. One of the best parts of that was that I got to go on stage this year and give that award to this year's winner. And so handing her the award, she was kind of like reluctant to take it. And I was like, girl, you need to take that because it's yours. You earned it. And that really that's my heart, is pushing people so that they push themselves into the spotlight and recognizing how awesome they are. So that's really what I like more than having to get up on the stage and actually winning an award myself.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. That is so cool. So at Vitality at Home, we talk a lot about people getting strong and staying strong into their, so they can do the things that they love to do. And for many of our clients in their 60s, or many of our clients are in their 60s, 70s, and 80s, and travel really is at the top of their list. What have you seen travel do for people in that age demographic?
Yeah, I think that when folks in those age brackets get to travel, the best part about it is that they are just included. Like, I feel like there can be a lot of loneliness when folks retire, or they're just growing older. And whether it's a family member that invites them to come along, or, that they booked that solo cabin all by themselves and just went out on an adventure and got to be part of this big cruise ship, or they grabbed their girlfriends and they're going to do a guided tour all together. Like, just being able to be included in something bigger and more exciting, I think that's the spice of life, right? Like, being able to make memories with the people around you.
Yeah, I would agree. And I also feel like from a purpose standpoint, right? It gives individuals something to look forward to, something to wake up to, and something to like think about for a long time, right? It's like getting to the trip and planning for the trip and then being on the trip.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what advice would you give to somebody who feels like they are maybe too old to travel, like maybe it's too late, or any type of travel would be too hard for them?
Well, and I think this kind of like pulls into the Chasing Whimsy part of my business, is that don't let those things hold you back. And yes, the world is big and there's a lot to explore, but don't take for granted what's in your own backyard. Like, I'm in Michigan. I love Michigan. There's so much to do here. But even just last week, I did a tour of a hotel down in downtown Grand Rapids, and it was like right on the river. And he was telling, like, the hotel manager was telling us about all the cool events that happen in the city and like why people stay there. And I'm just envisioning like, oh, I picked this cool event downtown. I get to stay in this cool hotel that has this awesome view of the river, and then do this cool thing. You can create your own adventure no matter where you're going. It doesn't have to be really far. Sometimes it only matters the people that you have with you. So, and as far as any sort of like mobility or any other sort of issues that might hold you back, the travel suppliers, all these awesome travel suppliers want you to be able to do that. And they're going to do whatever they can to make sure that you can do that. And like when I was talking to Royal Caribbean the other day, he was like, we'll do whatever we can to get her into the room that she wants. And there's no reason that she has to pay like a disability tax to pay more to get a room. And they really do want everybody to be included, and don't let that hold you back at all.
Yeah. I love that advice about looking at what we have in our own backyard, because I think that people think about travel and they think, oh my gosh, it has to be this big event, right? We have to get in a car and go on a road trip, or we have to get in an airplane and go to a destination. When the reality is, like, there are beautiful places to see right here in Michigan that are so easily accessible. Like, we have a client right now that is in his mid 90s, and he's still ambulatory, still getting around really, really well. But traveling in an airplane would be a huge feat for him.
Yeah.
So he and his significant other make a point to get to the beach every single week, all
Oh,
year round,
wow,
all
that's
year
so
round.
fun.
Yeah, so they just get out, they go to Holland, they go to Grand Haven, they go to Muskegon, and he'll just get out of the car and he'll take his walker and he'll get to the point where like his walker can sit on a sidewalk and he can take his shoes off and he can put his feet in the sand and he can watch the lake, and the two of them just have such an awesome time. And it is something that he looks forward to every single week, and it really truly makes him feel like he's on vacation.
Yeah, and I mean that is exactly chasing whimsy, right? Like that is finding a magical moment and like using all your senses. I'm just like imagining him putting his feet in the sand. That is just
Yeah.
fantastic. I love that.
Yeah. So we see it too. We try. We do a lot of the like physical piece for the people, and we do a lot of encouraging in and around the state, right? To like
Yeah.
get them out of the house and get them moving. So I can appreciate that you said that. But if you had to encourage every person that's going to be listening to this with one simple message about travel and life, what would that be?
There's just so much to learn in travel. You know, we get to learn about foods and different places and things like that. But like the people going and seeing all these different people around the world, because like it's not, you get to know the local culture, you get to know all the other people that for whatever reason, whatever, you know, they talk about like that string theory of like how all the people end up in the same place. Like when we were in Mexico last week, like there's people from Minnesota and Canada and, you know, boo, Ohio. No, I'm just kidding. But
Yes.
you get to meet so many walks of life, and you just get to appreciate things more, because every time you meet somebody else, you get to see the world through somebody else's eyes, and it's just the best. I love it.
I would absolutely agree with that. Like I am a self-proclaimed homebody,
Mhm.
and truthfully like never have loved to travel. And
Yeah.
when I do travel, I'm the type of person that like picks a place and that's the place I'm going to go every single
Yes.
time I go on vacation. And my husband has been really challenging me to think outside the box and to go to new places. And I agree with you. I mean, it just I used to say, why would I go there when I can just look it up on Google Earth?
Ah, yeah.
But it is a life-changing experience to see like a different culture and try different food and be in a different place. It's really, really incredible.
Yeah.
And that is so awesome that you get to sort of like curate this for people.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
it.
Well, and
Um,
like you just said, like seeing it on Google Earth, like last week when I was in Mexico, we got to like go on a whale watching tour. And like, yes, I could see a picture of a whale, but I could never feel that anticipation of like, you know how many clips I had of 20 seconds of the ocean waiting for those whales to jump out? That could never be recreated by AI. It could never be recreated by a photo. You have to go out and experience it.
You do. I love that. I absolutely love that. So can you share with us one of the funniest or most unexpected travel stories that you've ever had? Either a travel story of your own or something that you like with another person and they came back and they were like, "Oh my goodness, can you believe that this happened?"
Oh gosh. I'm there's probably some, but they probably wouldn't be appropriate to share on here. Um, but I mean, what I can think of is I just went to Disney with my it was our family of five, and then I'm adopted, but I reconnected with my biological dad as an adult. And so we got to bring him with us, which was super special. But the whole time we had this running joke that like my kids, they just the whole time we would anytime we got in a line, they'd be like, I go to the bathroom. I go to the bathroom. I'm like, we just went. Like, what happened? Like every single time. And just, you know, you build those like silly inside jokes, like every single time we had to go to the bathroom. And, you know, I do commiserate with a lot of moms that plan their Disney trips with all those little quirky things that our kids do when we go on vacation.
Oh my gosh, yes. But you know what? So when I remember when we went to Disney, my kids, same thing. And I remember we were waiting in line for the safari in the Animal Kingdom, and it was
Yeah.
probably a 3 hour line. And of course, we like didn't know that. So we're thinking, okay, well, we knew it was a long line, but we didn't think about the bathroom piece of it. So right before you get in every line, they've strategically placed like a snack shop, right? So
Oh
you
yeah.
get your snack, you get your drink, and then you go stand in line for 3 hours. And 30 minutes in, your kid has to go to the bathroom. And they never have to go to the bathroom at the same time,
Oh
right? Like
no, definitely
one
not.
has to go, so you take the
No.
one and then you bring it back and then the other. But Disney was so great about like being like, okay, totally cool, get on a line, go. And then when you came back, they would escort us back to our place
Yeah.
in line so that no one would give us a hard time
Yeah.
about like cutting or whatever.
And there's always that bonus opportunity. I've had it, I think it was on Rise of the Resistance at Hollywood Studios where they like took us backstage. So like we went behind the scenes to go to the bathroom. So I mean, you never know. You can find a little bit of whimsy in just going to the bathroom.
I was gonna say, I love that. We found that at the Tower of Terror.
Oh yeah.
So we brought both my kids were like gung ho, we're gonna do it. And then we get into this small room where they like slam the door shut. And my
Mhm.
daughter, who was 6 at the time, full on panic.
Yep.
And so they have to haul you out through all the twists and the turns and the back
Mhm.
ways and all of that. So she was like, you know what? I may not have been brave enough to go on the ride, but I sure did see a lot of extra stuff that my big brother
Right?
didn't get to see.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
So what is on your personal bucket list? A place that you have not visited yet, but you can't wait to?
So, top of my bucket list is to do Christmas markets in Europe. Specifically probably Manchester, but everyone there's not a single one that I have researched that I don't think I would love. But yeah, just like all those little stalls and being able to like go through and try all these different little foods and like Christmas lights. Is there anything better than Christmas lights? I love Christmas lights.
Literally nothing.
Yeah,
Literally nothing.
I love Christmas. I just think it would be so freaking amazing.
Do you have plans to plan that?
So I had a vision board, thing earlier this year, and I did put it on there. And I was like, you know what? If I don't get it planned to go overseas like I want to, I'm like, I'm gonna go to one that's like really awesome. So people like really had suggested the one down in Chicago. Like I know we have one here in Grand Rapids, but I haven't been down to that one, and it doesn't look that big. I'm like, I want big. I want a big one. So
Yes.
yeah, we'll make
Yeah.
it.
Oh, okay. So now if you could plan a dream trip for anyone else,
Mhm.
what would that dream trip be?
Oh man. Gosh, the world is so big. How do you pick one trip that would fit everywhere? Probably Disney. No, I'm just kidding. People would say that. People would be like, "Of course you pick Disney." I don't know. I mean, what about like one of those 180-day cruises around the world? Like, how cool would that be, right?
Oh
Like,
my gosh, people really do that.
they really do that, and they really have those available. That would
Oh
be
my gosh.
amazing, right? You get to do everything, hit every continent, maybe. I don't know. That sounds
See,
awesome.
like I would go super logistic. Like, what do you do about like washing your clothes? Like they must have laundry on site and like you do
Yeah, like
all
laundry
that.
service on board. Yeah, all that.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That I feel like that would just be like a little bit too long for me to be
Yes.
gone.
Yes.
But I love that for anybody who is that
Yes. Yes.
adventurous.
They do have a thing where like you can do like a private jet and like do all the Disney parks around the world. Maybe that would be probably a lot shorter, probably a lot more expensive.
I
But
was gonna say that sounds absolutely luxurious.
yes,
Sign me up for that one.
yes, absolutely.
Great way to do Disney.
Yes, absolutely. All the Disney.
Yeah. So, Sarah, where can people find you or follow you to get travel inspiration or start to plan their next adventure?
Yeah, so I do have a Facebook page that's Chasing Whimsy with Sarah. You can find me on Instagram at Chasing Whimsy at Sarah. But yeah, and both of those sites will have the link to my new travel inquiry form. You can submit it through there, put all the details like dates, who's traveling with you, do you have a passport, all that stuff. And then I'll get that and I'll reach out and I'll help you figure out all the details.
Oh, awesome. And we will put all those links to your social stuff in our post. But
Awesome.
Sarah, this has been such an inspiring conversation. And I love how you framed travel not just as a vacation, but as connection, curiosity, and confidence, really at any age.
Yeah.
So if you're listening and travel has been sitting quietly on your heart, consider this your little nudge. So Sarah, thank you so much for sharing your wisdom with us today. And to everyone listening, keep chasing vitality. All right, let's